Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. And tonight's events here at the ballpark, a ceremony here done very nicely by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And a very sad night here tonight, but again, we hope to be able to provide a bit of a diversion for you. The Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in Game 3 of this 4-game series. And well, we've sort of been watching it all day, Jerry, and we were here last year when this occurred, of course, when we got the news.
How quickly time goes by. Just a year ago, we were here in Tampa. We left New York the night prior to September 11th. I remember leaving New York that night, and we had cleared up. You know, it was just one of those beautiful nights. You know, we took off and came down to Tampa and arrived here very late. And the way we were notified about what was going on is the fact that called down for a suitcase. And you know, normally you get up, put television on, and you watch a little TV. Didn't do it that morning, and the bellman knocked on the door, brought the bags in, and said, we're under attack. And I, half asleep, what do you mean we're under attack? St. Petersburg, the hotel? And he said, no, quickly put on the TV. And of course, that's shortly after the first plane hit. And from that point on, obviously, everybody was just glued to the television watching the destruction, disaster that was going on. And, you know, it's amazing how quickly a year goes by. And here we are again today, and waking up this morning and watching all the horrible stories of what has happened to families and people who were at the World Trade Center, at the Pentagon, on the flight that went to Pennsylvania, of course, and some of the disastrous stories that you hear. It's been a very long day. A nice tribute here tonight and before the Devil Ray ball game, but a lot of times people have a very short attention span, but this is one that people will never forget.
You should never forget. As again tonight, we are going to bring you some baseball, and I truly think, as many do in baseball, that when this did occur soon after, and baseball came back, and it did provide a diversion for some people in the country, an important part. And we hope to do that again tonight. But I think you brought up a key element also, is that people do forget. And I think people soon after, maybe too many people went back to their regular lives and forgot about this. And this should never be forgotten about.
Well, you know, it was interesting, Don. We have been back to New York probably 3 or 4 times since last September. And for the first time in this last road trip, we left Boston after the night game, and we were flying down the coast. And it just so happened that it was you know, still light when we were going by New York. And I happened to be on the side of the plane for the first time that I could look down from the air and see where the World Trade Center used to be. And it was kind of a chilling feeling to look down at that big empty space and then be en route to the same place that we found out about what happened a year ago. And you know, it's been on your mind obviously all year, but more so obviously in the last couple of days. And watching television all day today was just you know, it's one of those things where you can't turn off, but you want to, and you know, but you just feel like you have to listen to what these people have gone through and what the pain that they've been through. And tonight, you know, you see General Tommy Franks out here, and he's got the message that this will continue. We'll win the battle, and all the tremendous work that they have put in.
It really, for me, it really hit when we went to New York. You talked about going to New York, and we arrived there for the first time and walking around and seeing still some of the faces that were up in Grand Central Station, the missing people. That's still there. There's still all of that, and all the pictures are still up there at Grand Central Station. All over New York, you can walk around and see that, and that's when it really became, I think, real for me. I mean, we see all the pictures on TV, but to actually go there to New York and see it for the first time.
Well, there are 2 events in my lifetime that I will never, ever forget where I was, you know, what time of day. The Kennedy assassination for me, and of course this terrible tragedy a year ago, is something I don't think anybody's ever going to forget, and the impact that it had. I mean, we were under attack. Our country, that has never happened before.
On American soil. Well, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays have taken the field, and the Red Sox will be sending a lineup tonight up against Paul Wilson that has Johnny Damon at the top of the lineup. Damon in center field. Shea Hillenbrand bats second at third base. Nomar Garciaparra at shortstop. Manny Ramirez in left. Cliff Floyd is the designated hitter. Ryan Daubach at first base, bats sixth. Jason Varitek does the catching. Trot Nixon is out in right. He'll bat eighth against the Devil Rays this season at .442. Ray Sanchez at second base, bats ninth.
And the defense tonight for the Devil Rays, Jared Sandberg will be at third base. Chris Gomez, the shortstop. Andy Sheets at second, and Aubrey Huff, the first baseman. Left to right, Carl Crawford making his first start of the series. Randy Wynn and Ben Grieve. John Flaherty again behind the plate and on the mound. Paul Wilson. 6-9 on the season, a 4.14 ERA. This is start number 27. Now Wilson has worked a career-high 178 in the third innings. And for that reason, they've been giving him some breaks recently. He actually missed his last start due to fatigue in his arm. So they're trying to kind of cruise these guys who have pitched a lot of innings to the end of the season. Against the Red Sox this year, 0-2 in 3 starts.
And look at the umpiring crew in behind the plate. Phil Cuzzy at first base. Matt Hollowell new to the crew tonight. Jerry Crawford at second base. Brian Gorman, the umpire, at third.
All right, St. Pete Police Officer J.J. Douglas. Let's hear the words we've been waiting for. Play ball!
And there's the logo that has been added here to the field in St. Petersburg and all over Major League Baseball. It's also on the bases tonight all the way around. As Paul Wilson is ready to face Johnny Damon as we're about to be underway tonight. And Damon takes the first one for a strike. Damon hitting at .287, 11 homers and 58 runs batted in on the season. Damon was 0 for 5 here last night and has had kind of a tough series here against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He's 1 for 10 as he fouls it back below us. And that's 1-2 to Damon. Nice snag below us.
Paul Wilson, the starting pitcher tonight, is a guy that other teams next year may have some interest in as maybe a 4th or 5th starter on a good ball club. I doubt very much that the Devil Rays are going to re-sign Wilson. He's been through some arm problems early in his career, and now he's getting to a point where he might command some more money, and I doubt that the Devil Rays are willing to do that.
Damon sends it to right, and it stays up for Ben Grieve. 1 down. Hit sharply, but hung up long enough for Grieve to come in, and Johnny Damon's out number 1.
Now, when you've been struggling, and Johnny Damon certainly has been doing that in this series, and you hit a ball that hard on the line, you want a base hit. Well, not that time. Ben Grieve is there to make the play about ankle high. You'd rather have a blue base hit than a line drive out.
Here's Shea Hillenbrand. Shea batting second again tonight, where he's been as of late. 305, 17 homers and 77 runs batted in for Hillenbrand. Was 1 for 6 here last night with a double. 2 runs driven in. This is just foul outside of third, and Hillenbrand will have to come back with a count of 1-1. They mentioned all the arm problems that Paul Wilson has had in his career. Former standout at Florida State University. Was a first-round pick, in fact the first overall pick in 1994, drafted by the Mets. The number 2 pick that year was the right fielder Ben Grieve here for Tampa Bay. He, of course, was drafted originally by the Oakland A's. They went 1-2 in 1994, and Paul Wilson has had a ton of injuries. He's had 2 separate surgeries on his shoulder, 2 surgeries on his elbow. There's parts of entirely the 99 season, but parts of 97 and 98. And after a while, the Mets finally gave up on Paul Wilson. And they came over here in a trade in 2000 as Hillenbrand will send this foul deep and far, but outside the line.
Well, you might expect home runs to play a part in this ball game tonight for the Red Sox. Wilson has allowed 26 home runs on the season.
Payoff pitch from Paul Wilson. This is inside, and he walks in. So the Red Sox have their first base runner of the night.
And one other thing you might want to watch tonight, the fact that if a pitcher hits somebody, he may be ejected from the game. It's happened in both games so far this series. Derek Lowe being ejected, and last night the relief pitcher, I believe it was Gardner, thrown out of the ball game for hitting Lou Maloney.
Lee Gardner.
Lee Gardner. So that's from up above. That's from the league, setting down some rules that you don't normally play by.
It could be interesting with Pedro, who does hit some folks, not always intentionally. And Pedro Martinez, of course, going tonight for the Red Sox. Just flared foul off the right side. Appeared to warm up okay. And that hip/groin situation seems to be all right tonight for Pedro. He is expected to throw under 100 pitches tonight, though. Grady Little said they'd be very close to that 100 pitch mark. Would not like to go over it. As Nomar is out after that pitch, down 0-2. Pedro tonight will be looking for victory number 18 of the season as he comes in at 17-4. The 0-2 just misses. 1-2 now to Nomar. Garcia apart, 312, 22 homers and 109 runs batted in. Brand's lead at first is pretty large as Nomar strikes out. First strikeout of the night for Paul Wilson. 2 down.
Off-speed pitch looked to be a changeup that Wilson will get Garcia Parra to strike out on. A couple of changeups and that at bat to Nomar.
So 2 down, and that takes us to Manny Ramirez, who tonight is the starting left fielder for the Red Sox. Cliff Floyd is the DH. Manny's at 336, 28 home runs and 90 runs batted in. Manny now third in the league in hitting, behind Sweeney and Bernie Williams as he crushes this down the left field line, but foul. Wow. In behind Mike Sweeney, Kansas City Royals, who's setting the pace at 341. Bernie Williams, who's had a terrific season, especially in the second half, at 338. And Manny, despite missing better than a month, the fractured finger, is third in the AL. Manny turned in a fine effort last night, 2 for 4 with a double, a home run, and he drove in 2.
Come on, man. Come on, baby.
The 1-1. Ramirez swings and misses off speed. 1-2.
Right now, that off-speed pitch, the best pitch for Paul Wilson. He's made the Nomar swing and miss a couple of times, and now Ramirez the same thing.
Jay with a good sized lead at first. Wilson working from the stretch. 2 down. And Ramirez waiting on the 1-2. Slices it foul off the right side, still 1-2. Red Sox have taken the first 2 games of this series and all 8 contests that they played here in Tampa Bay so far this season. They have yet to lose here at Tropicana Field. The Red Sox were able to win last night, but unfortunately in the wild card situation, so did the Anaheim Angels. As they were able to beat the Oakland A's in last night's action. They won 5-2 against Oakland. So Boston 7.5 games back of Anaheim. In the dirt, knocked down by Flaherty. 2-2 now to Manny.
Mentioned that last start for Wilson. That was back on August 30th against Texas. He only lasted 3 1/3, and then, of course, they skipped the start for him with a fatigued arm. That was the same situation last night for Joe Kennedy.
Well, a lot of complete games on this staff somehow for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and these guys are some tired arms. This is a career high 27th start of the season for Paul Wilson. He had 26 starts back in 1996 for the Mets. This is the most in the last 6 years. And a ground foul beyond the Red Sox dugout on the third base side.
And for a guy with a tired arm, he's had to throw a lot of pitches here in the first inning.
The next pitch from Paul Wilson will be the 22nd pitch of the inning and of his outing. It's the Red Sox. Paul Wilson 2-4 with a 4.84 earned run average. This marks his 12th appearance against the Red Sox in his career. And he strikes out Ramirez looking. Red Sox leave a man. Back-to-back Ks of Nomar and Manny. Half an inning done. The Red Sox nothing. Tampa Bay coming up from St. Pete.
Welcome to TLC Supply, the hardscape and masonry superstore. Whether you're looking for pavers, brick, cement, bluestone, granite, sand, or crushed stone, we've got the quality products you need for your project.
Thinking of building an outdoor kitchen? We have premium grills, accessories, and countertops.
Our design team can provide digital imagery for your project before you install.
Visit our friendly staff today and we can make your outdoor living space dream come true.
TLC Supply, right off the Expressway in Quincy.
Back in St. Petersburg, the Red Sox don't score in the top of the first. Devil Rays coming to the plate in the bottom of the first inning. The leadoff man tonight, a former Red Sox utility infielder, Andy Sheets at second base. It's Carl Crawford in left field. Randy Wynn bats third and center at .333 average at home, fourth in the American League. Aubrey Huff at first base bats fourth. Steve Cox the DH. John Flaherty does the catching, bat sixth. Ben Grieve in right. Jared Sandberg is the third baseman batting eighth, and Chris Gomez is the shortstop batting ninth.
The defense tonight for the Red Sox: Shea Hillenbrand will be at third base, Nomar at shortstop, Ray Sanchez at second, and Brian Daubach at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon. Jason Veritek behind the plate, and on the mound, Pedro Martinez. Pedro making his 28th start. Of course, he missed the start with that strained left hip. Last start was against the Yankees back on August 28th. 6 1/3 in that game, 3 earned runs. The Red Sox lost at 7-0. In one game this year against Tampa Bay, he worked 8 innings, allowing only 2 hits and no runs. At 11 strikeouts, the Red Sox won that one 6-0.
Here comes Andy Sheets to lead it off, second baseman for the Devil Rays. Used to seeing him at short, where he had played here for the Devil Rays. .262, 4 homers, and 20 runs batted in for Andy Sheets. He started now 11 of the last 14 games for the Devil Rays, 10 of which at second base and 1 at shortstop since coming back on August the 28th. He missed 10 days with a bruised left shin. And a collision with Brent Abernathy on a pop-up. On that pitch, quickly in the hole, 0-2.
3 pitches, pal.
Andy Sheets came up from the Durham Bulls on July the 20th and has not enjoyed his time against Pedro. 0 for 8, 7 strikeouts against Pedro Martinez.
Pedro still leads the league in ERA at 2.22, 221 strikeouts. Also leads over Roger Clemens.
Sheets stays alive as he carves it foul off the right side. 1-2.
Mentioned Roger in second place in strikeouts. He has 177 now on the season.
Lined and cut on the backhand by Nomar. Reels it in, middle of the cap high, 1 down.
Well, when you've struck out that many times against Pedro, you're just happy to make contact. Line drive, but right at Nomar Garcia-Parra for the first out.
One down, and it brings up Carl Crawford, who we did not see last night. Crawford, the #1 prospect in the Devil Rays organization. His first season in the major leagues. Checks in at .255, 2 homers and 19 runs batted in for the Devil Rays. Crawford spending a large portion of this season playing for their AAA club in Durham. And he rifles it into center field for a base hit. 1 out single for Carl Crawford. And the first hit of the night for the Devil Rays.
He was voted the International League Rookie of the Year. He started off very well for the Devil Rays, but he has struggled recently. Only 8 for his last 55 at bats, but a line shot on the fastball right up over the head of Pedro.
Well, on a team that is 48 games under 500, there are not a lot of shining stars, but Randy Wynn has put together a very good season under Hal McRae this year. The center fielder, their only representative in the All-Star game, and continues to enjoy a fine season. He's up over 300 on the year at .302, 10 homers and 61 runs driven in. point this year. He was third in the American League, hitting at .320. His batting average right now the lowest since June the 9th, as he has dipped down as of late. And the handle pops it up off third. Hillenbrand is there, 2 down.
Right now, the velocity on Pedro's fastball, 89, 90 miles an hour. Not throwing real hard at this point. I think when he knows he's going to go out there and have a pitch count, which was going to be under 100 tonight, probably tries to get the guy to swing at a lot of first pitches. Throws that little sinking fastball that he will on occasion, and try to get some quick outs.
Does his delivery look any different to you?
No, it looks exactly the same to me.
Because I know that was one of the concerns they had coming in tonight, that he would alter it because of the pain that he had in his hip area, and that perhaps he would overcompensate, but it does pretty much look the same.
If he was hurting it all right now, he would not be pitching in this game. They were not going to take the chance of having anything that would in any way hurt that shoulder or arm of Pedro Martinez.
Here's Aubrey Huff. He takes the 0-1 for a strike. 0-2 now to Huff. 329, 22 homers and 52 runs batted in for Huff. Riding a 17-game hitting streak coming into tonight's action. Really had a terrific go of it as of late. If he get a hit tonight, would tie the longest hitting streak in Devil Rays history. Runner is off. The throw is in time. Jason Varitek throws out Carl Crawford at second base to end the inning. And the Devil Rays are gone in the first. We've played one from St. Petersburg. No score.
Meet the new DQ Loaded A1 Steakhouse Burger, stacked with thick-cut bacon, crunchy onion rings, and 2 premium steak sauces. A1 thick and hearty steak sauce and a creamy peppercorn sauce. This is one burger that needs 2 hands. DQ, happy tastes good.
I drive 65,000 miles each year in my bus. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. You don't want to be in the blind spot of a 40,000-pound bus when I have less than a second to react. I do what I can by changing lanes and taking turns slowly. It really helps when people look out for me, too. Give me room to operate safely. It's our roads. It's our safety.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
I needed a new truck, but I didn't have time to shop around for a good loan. So I got one with a higher interest rate from the dealer. Then I refinanced with DCU. Now I have more cash in my pocket for more of what matters. What will DCU mean to you?
Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back in Tampa Bay. No scores. We get ready for the last of the second inning, and Pedro Martinez back on the mound. And this season, another Cy Young effort perhaps for Pedro Martinez. He has company at the top in many of those categories, Jerry. As we take a look at the breakdown between the big three, his teammate, of course, Derek Lowe and Barry Zito. You have to think that the numbers may be good enough to get him another one.
Well, you know, they still got, what, maybe 3 or 4 starts left before the season's over, so you're going to have to hold off judgment. But Barry Zito already conceded it to both Pedro and Lowe. He made that comment out west. But I think there are going to be a lot of votes this year split up between these 3 guys, and it's going to be a very, very close race.
And the surprising name of the 3, no doubt about it, Derek Lowe, the way he has come back this season as a starter. And an amazing feat of having a 40-plus save season in the same career as perhaps a 20-game winning season is remarkable in its own right. But the fact that he did it after such a tough season last year for Derek Lowe is truly amazing. Aubrey Huff was at the plate last inning when Carl Crawford was thrown out at second base to end the inning. As he was trying to steal. This time Huff lines it, but it's snared by Daubach on the backhand. Good reaction by the Boston first baseman.
Changeup on the first pitch from Pedro. Huff, who got a look at him last inning before the caught stealing, hits it hard, but Daubach makes the catch in a line drive. Pretty good swing for a first pitch changeup. He stayed back very well as Daubach with the crossover step and catch.
Now Steve Cox, the designated hitter for the Devil Rays. 259, 16 homers, and 71 runs batted in for Cox. Cox has had kind of a tough month. He's hitting at just 156 so far on the month, and has had a tough time of it against Pedro Martinez in his career. He's not alone in that category by any means. For Cox, over the last 34 games, he's hit at just 207 during that time. His average has taken a beating in the meantime. Same time at first this season for Tampa Bay. He slices it foul off the left side. Full count now to Cox. He's also seen time as the DH. He has now started 137 of 145 Devil Rays games, 110 of which have come as a first baseman. Tonight, for the 27th time, he's a DH, and for the first time tonight, the Devil Ray will walk against Pedro Martinez.
With the layoff of Pedro, you wouldn't expect him early in this ball game to be as sharp as he normally would be. Anytime he walks somebody, he's stunned.
Well, let me ask you this. Sometimes when he's got long layoffs, you often hear the comment that he may be coming back too strong. Does he appear to be too strong to you tonight?
I don't think he's too strong, but I think early on his location is not quite exactly where he'd like it to be.
John Flaherty, the former Red Sox catcher, takes strike one.
I don't think at this time of year, Don, for pitchers who have been starting all season long, there's such thing as being too strong, even if you've missed a start.
The thing I found remarkable that Greg Little was talking about the other day was that in the second half of the season, Pedro Martinez, and I guess he's done this in years past, does not throw on the side in between starts.
Right.
And I guess at some point you get enough innings under your belt that
he does throw. He plays long catch, but he does not throw off a mound between starts. To save as many of those bullets as you can.
Flaherty takes the pitch. It's 2-1.
You know, it's the same for a lot of position players. As you get deeper and deeper into the season, you don't take as many ground balls, obviously, as you would earlier in your pregame activities. You, at times, may not even take batting practice. Skip that altogether.
The 2-1 will miss away. It seems like infield has become kind of an art that's gone as well. Infield practice before games. I don't know if anybody does it anymore.
A lot of teams don't take it at all. They used to be, for a while, they take it maybe the first day into a new ballpark, but then now you go 3 straight days without seeing it. Strange.
Cox with a short lead at first. There he goes. The 3-1 is hit pretty well to left field. Manny Ramirez going back and watching it leave. A 2-run home run for John Flaherty, his 4th of the year. And the Devil Rays have the early 2-0 advantage.
Well, John Flaherty, you might remember, broke up a Pedro Martinez no-hitter right here in Tampa Bay with a base hit to the opposite field. This time, he gives the Devil Rays a 2-0 lead. Only his 4th home run of the season, and only the 13th allowed by Pedro this season.
Here's Ben Grieve with 1 out, nobody on. Grieve has 17 home runs on the season to go along with his 55 RBIs and a .249 batting average. In his 2nd season with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, coming over from the Oakland A's. stayed inside on him. Well, with one out, he walked Steve Cox, and now John Flaherty's taking him deep. A 2-run home run for Flaherty, which has the Devil Rays on top 2-0. That's in their first strike. 2-2 to Ben Grieve.
You know, that's the first home run from Flaherty since back on June 1st. He hit 3 home runs in a 5-game stretch. That's his first since.
Kind of streaky. Fouled in and out of the glove of Jason Varitek. 2-2. Of course, Flaherty traded by the Red Sox for Rich Rowland. Flaherty went on to have some pretty good years, especially in San Diego as a member of the Padres.
Didn't Rowland ended up being a little bit older than they thought when they acquired him in that trade?
I believe that to be true. I know he spent much more time in Pawtucket than he did in Boston. Did he ever get to Boston, Rich Rowland?
I'm not sure. I think he did.
But it was not a terrific trade in hindsight. First strikeout of the night for Pedro Martinez. Ben Grieve is out number 2 of the inning.
Right now, to this point of the game, the curveball has been the best pitch for Pedro. Fastball has only been about 90. He's had trouble controlling the changeup, but there's a good curveball to pick up the strikeout.
Two down, and here is the nephew of Ryan Sandberg, Jared Sandberg, who hits at .223. 17 homers and 51 runs batted in. Out after the first pitch, sends it deep to right. Nixon going back at the wall. He'll jump, and he makes the catch. Trot Nixon with not much more room in which to work with. Just to the right of the 370 marker, makes the catch, and it retires the side. But a 2-run home run from John Flaherty as the Devil Rays on top 2-0.
To defend against dark forces attacking your organization, you need to see in the dark. To have the wisdom to understand multiple cyber threats. The precision focus to end attacks instantly. On computers, mobile devices, servers, and the cloud. Join the world's leading companies in our mission to defend. Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
Moving can be one of the most stressful things you'll ever do. And at Moving APT, we specialize in taking the stress and strain out of your move. Whether you have a 1-bedroom apartment or a 10-bedroom mansion, you can feel safe and confident that Moving APT will get the job done. Licensed, bonded, and assured, you always get the best price. That's right, we will meet or beat any quote. That's our price match guarantee. So if you're planning an out-of-state move within the next 30 to 60 days, give us a call.
If only there was a place nearby you could get one of these. Or these. Good thing they're sold literally everywhere business is done. I'm pretty sure you could buy them at a bank. Not sorry, Reese's.
Back in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay on top 2-0 as we get ready for the last of the third inning. And take a look at the division for the Red Sox. They find themselves 9.5 games back of the Yankees heading into tonight's action in the Central. That's been over for a while. The Minnesota Twins, who won today, now better their pad, 13.5 games better than the White Sox. Their magic number, in fact, is 4 right now. While in the West, things are not as snug as they once were, but the Angels and Oakland going back and forth, and they meet again tonight. Seattle has fallen off the pace 7 games back, but they're still very much in the wild card situation. They are 5 back of Anaheim, and of course the Red Sox 7.5 games back of Anaheim with 18 left. On now to the last of the third inning. The number 9 hitter Chris Gomez to lead it off. Andy Sheets and then Carl Crawford to face Pedro, who gave up a 2-run home run to John Flaherty an inning ago. And it's given the Devil Rays a 2-0 lead. Gomez at .262, 10 homers and 43 runs batted in. And he struggled as of late. Not likely to turn it around tonight against Pedro either. But Gomez 1 for 14 over the last 5 games. Line down the right field line, a foul ball down in the direction of the Rays bullpen cafe. The race is on down there. Uh-oh. Wow. The 0-2. This is up top, 1-2. That was 92 for Pedro. To slowly be bringing up the velocity here as he works in the third inning. 93 that time, and it's good enough for strikeout number 2.
Turning up the volume just a bit is Pedro there with the 92-mile-an-hour fastball right by Gomez. Gomez now 1 for 12 in his career against Martinez.
Three in a row retired by Pedro. Here's Andy Sheets, who lined out to shortstop his first time. Sheets, who can play a lot of positions for you so far, has played 14 games at second base, 6 at third, and 9 as a shortstop for the Devil Rays. It's coming up from Durham, where he had a terrific year there. 97 games at AAA this year. And he crushes this foul down the left field line, out ahead of it.
3 straight changeups to the right-handed hitter, and Sheets expecting the fastball to and way out in front of that changeup.
The 2-1 to Sheets. It's already on the cut, and it evens up at 2-2.
I was surprised, Don, when I saw Sheets as the leadoff hitter tonight, so I was anxious to see the numbers. He must do well against Pedro. He's 0 for 9 now against Pedro.
I don't get it either. And Sheets is not blessed with a great deal of speed either, as he strikes out. Didn't think he did. He looked back and got the bad news from Phil Cuzzi. Back-to-back Ks for Pedro. 3 in all tonight for Martinez. 2 down.
Changeups early in the count, fastballs late in the count. Outside corner. That's that pinpoint control we've become accustomed to seeing from Pedro.
So now Sheets is 0 for 10 with 8 strikeouts against Martinez. A check swing by Carl Crawford he did not offer, and it's 1-0. This is inside. 2-0 now to Crawford. Very late on that swing. 2-1.
Youngest player to ever start for the Devil Rays at just over 20 years old, almost 21 now.
Check swing grounder that ends up outside of third.
Second round pick 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago in '99. Supposed to be an excellent athlete. A little bit like my partner Don Orsello, excellent athlete.
The 2-2 is fouled back to the backstop to the screen.
Do you have a favorite sport like that you know, a casual like weekend thing you do? Bowling, polo,
eat. It's pretty much my best casual sport. Strike 3, and Pedro successfully strikes out the side in order. 4 Ks for Pedro Martinez. We're through 3. Tampa Bay on top 2-0.
Before we built up our credit, we couldn't get a car loan. So we just put up with our unreliable car. Then thanks to DCU, we were able to get a low rate and a car we can depend on, which feels like a pretty big thing. What will DCU mean to you?
Hockey East is back on NESN. The women kick it off Friday at 4:30 with Boston College 1H. Then at 7, it's the men's turn with New Hampshire, BC. And UMass Maine on NESN Plus. Presented by Rockland Trust, where each relationship matters.
Some of our associates, our real heroes, got sick with COVID. And they came back, putting themselves at risk and their families at risk to take care of other people. People that were not their family, but people that they were charged with caring for. And they put them first. They're true heroes. They're warriors. What's in that building are champions.
2020 got you feeling stuck? Now through November 18th, join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Don't let stress weigh you down. Get up and get moving in a squeaky clean club for just $1 down, $10 a month. Spread out while you work out with cardio distancing. And check the new crowd meter in our app to pick the best time to visit. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Hurry, deal ends November 18th.
Back in St. Petersburg, as the Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays have played the first four. The Devil Rays on top 2-0. And we're going to check in with Tom Caron. Tom?
Thanks very much, Don. We are here with Catherine and Chase Nixon. Chase catching a little nap here, Catherine.
He had a busy day today.
Talk about the day. Obviously, there's been a lot of coverage about the story of his birth a year ago and Trout's journey back here. Today you were able to have a birthday party. Talk about this day and how you went through it.
We did. We had a really nice party. Our family's here in town to help us celebrate his first birthday. We also had some teammates that were able to come and with their kids, their wives and kids, and we had a really nice time. We had, on the invitations, I had put, please wear your red, white, and blue. So everyone came in red, white, and blue, and we had the flowers, red, white, and blue, and we sang happy birthday to him, and he just dove right into his cake, too. And it was the first time he'd had cake, except at his cousin's first birthday party earlier this year, but he really enjoyed it. So.
You had talked about incorporating God Bless America and those types of things in his birthday went on. Did you do that today, and do you still plan on doing that?
Well, like I said, and also we did a prayer, and we did a prayer that Walt Day, our chaplain, the baseball chaplain, had written for the occasion, and we also, at the end of the prayer, say, please be with the victims' families, friends, and the heroes from that day.
He brought a lot of joy into the world on a day that needed it.
Yes, he did, and he definitely brought a lot of love into the world, and we're so blessed to have him here.
Catherine, thank you.
Thank you.
It's Catherine, and hopefully his dad will be the star before it's all done. Maybe he'll wake up for it, guys.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. Ray Sanchez has led off the top of the fifth inning with a base hit. And the third hit of the night for the Red Sox.
Sanchez now with a 6-game hitting streak for the Red Sox. He came out of the ball game early last night in the blowout and then gave Freddie Sanchez an opportunity to pick up his first major league hit.
It was quite a debut last night for Freddie Sanchez and Josh Hancock.
Yeah, nice.
Here's Johnny Damon, who was 0 for 2 tonight. He popped out to the third baseman with the bases loaded in the second inning. And right now on a tough stretch in the series, 1 for 12 against the Devil Rays. He drops in there for a strike, 1-1. Will Paul Wilson somehow get out of that second inning with the bases loaded, 2 outs. The Red Sox could not score. At one point they had runners at second and third and nobody out, and Wilson got out of that. As the Red Sox have left 5 men on base through the first 4 innings. It seems like Paul Wilson has done this a lot against the Red Sox, and it always seems like there's one inning, maybe the 5th or 6th, where they get to him and chase him from the game. He's 2 and 4 overall against Boston. Damon pops it up, foul, back towards the seats, and it'll make its way back into the crowd. The 1-2 in the dirt, gets away briefly from Flaherty, but he's able to recover. No advance for Ray Sanchez.
It's like a fairly new glove that Flaherty is using for late in the season. To see that glove that fresh sometimes just during spring training, trying to break in a new one.
Hit hard and knocked down at first by Huff on the backhand. Now he's going to get anybody. No. was able to knock it down on a hot smash. And then by the time he could recover down the line quickly was Damon, and Wilson got over there but not in time, and the Red Sox have the first two reach.
The only chance he had is if he was able to pick it up on that first try and get Sanchez at second base. Does a nice job knocking the ball down, but now he's going to chase it down, and once he bobbles it there, he can't get anybody. Now with Johnny Damon's speed. That'll go as a base hit for Damon. He's looking towards second base. He wanted to get that force out, but he forgot to pick up the baseball.
Second time in the game the Red Sox have had the first two base runners reach in an inning. And runners at second and third in the second inning with nobody out. Here they have runners at first and second as Hillenbrand takes a cut at the first one. Shea walked in the first and grounded out to shortstop in the third. Grounded foul beyond the Boston dugout. 0-2.
Wilson trying to turn that fastball over on those first two pitches to induce a ground ball.
Neither club as yet tonight has turned a double play in the game. This is down and in. 1-2. Wilson came over here to Tampa Bay from the Mets after the Mets had kind of given up waiting on Paul Wilson after the surgeries, and came over with Jason Tyner, another former first-round pick of the Mets, for Rick White and Bubba Trammell in July of 2000. And last year was his first full season at the major league level since his rookie year of 1996 with the Mets. And again, that was largely because of all the injuries he had, and we've talked about it many times. One of the biggest prospects you will ever hear about at one point for the Mets. At a Florida State University, at one point threw upwards 97, 98 miles per hour with movement. And after all the injuries, he's just happy to be back in the big leagues. Popped up, foul. Flaherty on the run. Huff comes from first. It'll be John Flaherty right in front of the Tampa Bay dugout, and a big out for Paul Wilson. One down.
Now, so far the Red Sox have not been able to take business with those opportunities they've had. They had that inning back in the second. They had base runners all over the place, didn't score. First and second with nobody out. Now just one out in the inning, but still has to deal with Garciaparra and Ramirez.
Here's Nomar, struck out in the first inning. He flied to center in the third. 0 for 2 and hits at .329 with runners in scoring position. Down in the count very quickly, 0-1.
Knowing Nomar is a first ball hitter, he throws him the changeup on the first pitch.
Just misses off the plate. 1-1 to Garciaparra. Paul Wilson has faced the Red Sox a lot. This is his 12th career appearance against the Red Sox and his 8th start against Boston. Omar carves it foul back to the backstop. 1-2. Omar's 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out in the first and flied to center field in the third inning. Up at 2-2. Reese Sanchez at second base. Johnny Damon at first with one out in the inning. Red Sox have had at least one base runner on in every inning but the third as they bat here in the fifth inning. And a full count now to Garciaparra.
Let's see if they have the runners going here on the 3-2 count and one out, banking on the contact from Nomar.
It's been a recurring theme this season. They are off, and Nomar takes ball 4. So the fourth walk given up by Paul Wilson will load the bases. It's the second time in the game that the Red Sox have had a bases loaded situation, and Manny Ramirez, who has struck out twice tonight against Paul Wilson, will have the opportunity with the bases loaded and 1 out. .369 for Manny Ramirez with 14 grand slams in his career. And he hit his 28th home run last night here in Tampa Bay. And he grounds it foul.
And his RBI total up to 90 now on the season. Manny with an excellent chance again to go over 100 regardless of missing those 6 weeks. He could put 4 quick ones at that total right now.
He finished with 125 runs batted in a year ago. The 0-1. He will again send it on the ground foul outside of third, and Ramirez, who has had the misfortune of striking out twice tonight, is down 0-2.
He struck out the first time on a fastball, the second time on the breaking ball.
Red Sox have the bases loaded with 1 out in the inning. Bats now. Cliff Floyd waits on deck. Ramirez takes ball 1. You have to go back to the 1997 campaign to find a year in which Manny has not gone up over 100 RBIs in a season. He had 88 back in 97 as a member of the Indians, then 145, an amazing 165 in 99 with Cleveland. And his last year there in an injury-mirrored season there, he was 122. Last year, 125. In the air to left field. Struck pretty well. Carl Crawford headed back at the wall. Crawford will watch it leave. Grand slam number 15 for the career of Manny Ramirez. The Red Sox, with one swing of the bat, take a 4-2 lead.
Well, you figured a home run would play a big part in this game for the Red Sox. As we mentioned, Wilson had given up 26, make it 27. And Ramirez now with 94 RBI in the season. Fastball inside. Ramirez cleans it out. And the Red Sox quickly have the 4-2 lead.
Yeah, another grand slam playing a big part in the game between the Red Sox and the Devil Rays. Remember the catwalk grand slam shot here, pinch hit earlier in the season by Hillenbrand. And now Manny Ramirez with his 29th home run of the year. It's his 15th grand slam of his career. And Cliff Floyd, who's 1 for 2, now bats with the bases empty and 1 out in the inning. Floyd goes the opposite way. A fair ball down the line towards the corner as Carl Crawford plays the ricochet off the short fencing, but not before Floyd jogs into second base. His second hit of the night, a double this time.
Now you mentioned it, Don. You know, he's always pitched pretty well against the Red Sox, but it seems like one bad inning does him in, and this might be the bad inning. This is the bad inning. That ball away from Floyd. He's not only pulling the ball, he's hitting it to the opposite field. He's really hot right now.
Now Brian Daubach will bat action in the Tampa Bay bullpen for the first time tonight. Daubach takes the first one for a strike. Bryant doubled in the second. He walked in the fourth. 5-pitch inning for Paul Wilson. This will be the 95th pitch of his outing, and it gets away from Flaherty. Floyd's going to try for third and get there. He broke right away. The ball didn't get all that far away from John Flaherty, but alert base running from Cliff Floyd gets him to third.
Excellent secondary lead by Floyd at second base. Enables him to get a good jump, even though this ball's not that far away from Flaherty. There's that secondary lead, and he's off, and there's no contest.
So now, as a result, the Devil Rays bring the infield in all the way around. I mentioned there's action in the Tampa Bay pen. It's a left-hander who's up, Wilson Alvarez, who spent a lot of time in the DL over the last few years up in the bullpen. A former starter. In the dirt, gets away from Flaherty again, but no chance this time for Floyd. He took one step towards the plate and realized it wasn't all that far away from Flaherty. The Red Sox have scored 4 times here in the 5th on a grand slam by Manny Ramirez. And they're trying to add to that total with still just 1 out in the inning. Sliced foul off the left side. The full count to Dahlbach. The Yankees have a 4-0 lead tonight over Baltimore in the last of the 4th inning at Yankee Stadium. As Dahlbach lines this foul down the left field line. This will be the 100th pitch of the night for Paul Wilson. Dahlbach lines it to right in for a base hit. Floyd will jog home from third, and the Red Sox lead it 5-2. A 5-run 5th inning, and it's not over yet. We're still just 1 out in the inning. The Red Sox lead it 5-2.
It looks like Hal McRae may be making a move out toward the pitcher's mound. Here comes McRae. A lot of pitches. And now the 5 quick runs, and he's going to make the pitching change.
We had Wilson Alvarez up in the bullpen, and we will likely see Wilson come in for Paul Wilson, who will leave after 4 1/3 innings, and he gives up 7 hits to the Red Sox. Still responsible for Dahlbach at first base, but he departs down 5-2. We'll step aside with the Red Sox on top 5-2 in the midst of the top of the 5th inning. Back in Tampa Bay, Red Sox on top 5-2 now, still batting in the top of the 5th inning. The Devil Rays have switched up pitchers. Paul Wilson leaves after 4 1/3. Wilson Alvarez into the game.
Alvarez has battled injuries throughout his career with the Devil Rays. Just off the DL back on August the 5th. He did start some games this year, 10 starts, but recently all his work out of the bullpen. 2-2 on the season, his 19th appearance.
Wilson still responsible for Brian Dahlbach, who is at first base. Brian's been on base 3 times tonight. Double in the 2nd, a walk in the 4th, and most recently an RBI single in the 5th inning. Not play last night, but he is in the lineup tonight and contributing to this 5-2 Red Sox lead. Still just 1 out of the inning, and Jason Varitek will become the 8th batter of the inning for the Red Sox. And the first man to face Wilson Alvarez. Once a 15-game winner as a starter for the Chicago White Sox back in the mid-90s. Was 15-10 in 1996 for the White Sox. Had some pretty good years. He's also 15-8 in 93 for the White Sox as a starter. And a member of the Devil Rays since 98 through some injuries. Varitek sends it towards left center field. Over goes Crawford. And he makes the catch, sending Dahlbach back to the bag at first with 2 down. bring up Trot Nixon, the 9th man to bat in the inning. Trot grounded out in the 2nd, popped out in the 4th inning. And he pops out this time perhaps into shallow left field. Chris Gomez out there in shallow left, and he takes care of it to retire Nixon. But 9 men come to the plate for Boston, and 5 of them score. We've played 4.5 from Tampa Bay, 5-2 Boston.
To defend against dark forces attacking your organization, you need to see in the dark. To have the wisdom to understand multiple cyber threats. The precision focus to end attacks instantly. On computers, mobile devices, servers, and the cloud. Join the world's leading companies in our mission to defend. Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
I've been driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like the trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads. It's our safety.
8 years ago, my daughter called to say she was expecting our first grandchild, but I never heard her say it. So a few years ago, Gina bought me a nano hearing aid. And now I love hearing Ryan call me Papa. And at only $297 for a full pair, they make a great gift for someone you know. Plus, call now and order 1 hearing aid, and Nano will give you a second absolutely free.
Call 1-800-915-0631.
Now back in St. Pete, the Red Sox have the 5-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And in case you joined us late, there was a very special pregame ceremony here. And we'll let you take a look back at some of the highlights. Back in Tampa Bay, and a look before the ball game at the pregame ceremonies here at Tropicana Field. Pedro Martinez back on the mound. That's his 90th pitch of the night. Aubrey Huff, to lead it off here, is lined out to first and is grounded out to second base so far tonight. Left-handed hitting first baseman for the Devil Rays, and he lines that just outside the line. And it evens up at 1-1. Aubrey Huff, Steve Cox, and John Flaherty featured here in the last of the 6th inning for Tampa Bay. They trail by 3, down 5-2. Well, the Devil Rays this year really struggling. 48 games under 500, the low mark in their franchise history. Heading into tonight's action, and Al McRae, who has been very frustrated by their play. A ball has been thrown out near Pedro Martinez and the mound. Where did that come from? The crowd. Did it come from the crowd or up above on the catwalk? It may have just fallen from the catwalk. I picked it up late. I have no idea. Some of the players were kind of pointing upwards. But a ball landing before the base of the mound. A ball landing. There it is. That looks like a drop somewhere from one of the catwalks. I don't believe it was thrown by a fan.
Imagine that the balls may be up there from batting practice up on those catwalks. There are so many of them up here off a speaker, maybe falling down, but wow. Pedro saw it as he went into his delivery and was able to stop. The 2-2. Huff will send it foul off the left side. Yeah, the trajectory of that ball definitely looked like it was coming from up above.
Yeah, probably that second tier, which is certainly one that is reachable on a pop-up.
Huff chops it outside of first and foul.
Well, they said that Pedro was going to be right around 100 pitches, but there is no activity in the bullpen at this stage of the game, and up now to what, about 95, 96 pitches.
95 to be exact. Well, maybe they're going to get somebody up now. Grounded foul into the Tampa Bay dugout on the first base side. Tony picking up the phone, and Bob Kipper on the other side will go answer it. He dials down to the bullpen. A very quick conversation, and Kipper will indeed get somebody up in the Boston pen. The 2-2. Third foul off the left side. Bob Howry will warm up in the Boston bullpen.
So you would have to think that Pedro will probably end his night here after the 6th inning.
In the air to shallow left field. Manny got a late break. Out goes Nomar, and Nomar makes the catch in front of Manny. Had to go a fair distance into left field to make that catch. One down.
You know, which obviously gives the Devil Rays some hope when they have Pedro out of the game early. They still have about 3 innings to try to score on the Red Sox bullpen. There's Garciaparra going way out into left field to make the backhanded play in front of Ramirez.
One down here, Steve Cox, who's walked and struck out so far against Pedro tonight. Misses away, 2-0. Martinez has walked 2 tonight. He struck out 8 through 5 1/3 innings. Giving up a total of 5 hits and 2 runs to the Devil Rays. The big one, the 2-run home run by John Flaherty back in the 2nd inning. Pedro ready to work with the 2-1. In there for a strike. Pedro looking for victory number 18 of the season as he comes in at 17-4, has a 5-2 lead to work with. And this is down the right field line towards the corner. It is a fair ball, one hopping the corner. Nixon able to pick it and throws quickly to second base, but it is not in time. Steve Cox into second base with a 1-out double.
Now Steve Cox jumped on a high changeup from Pedro Martinez, short hop that fence. It was a very close play at second. You watch Garciaparra, if we got him in the camera shot, he's trying to deke that runner like there's not going to be a throw, and then at the last minute catch the ball and try to apply the tag. Throw by Nixon after he feels it off the wall. Garciaparra standing up straight, and then the quick tag, but not in time.
Here's John Flaherty, who's homered and walked against Pedro Martinez tonight. The home run was his 4th of the year. RBIs 29 and 30 for the Devil Rays catcher. A very haphazard swing. It's 1-1. And Grieve waits on deck, 1 out, runner at second base. This is sent in the air to right center field. It'll get down, and Steve Cox being waved around with the 3rd Tampa Bay run. 5-3 Red Sox. The lead shortened to 2 now.
Maybe Pedro will not make it through the 6th inning. Flaherty giving him a tough time tonight, pulling the home run, and now the opposite field base hit to drive in his 3rd run of the night. Fastball away. Flaherty just takes it to the opposite field. That was similar to when he broke up the no-hitter here against Pedro a few years back.
One out, runner at first base. There's a run in for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Ben Greaves 0 for 2. He struck out twice tonight. 2 of the 8 Ks that Pedro Martinez has. Johnny Damon, the center fielder, a step or two towards left center. Anticipating Greaves may go the opposite way. Sends it out in that general direction to shallow center. Damon in a few steps. And there's 2 down in the inning. And him defensively aligned perfectly 2 away. First time Greaves has made contact against Pedro Martinez, who struck him out in the 2nd and again in the 4th. 2 down for Jared Sandberg. That one deep to right in the 2nd inning, and Trot Nixon made the catch up against the wall. And Sandberg struck out in the 5th. He's 0 for 2 tonight. It's out of the way of the breaking ball, but takes the strike. Lowry continuing to warm down in the Boston bullpen as Pedro Martinez continues to work in the last half of the 6th inning. On the ground towards Sanchez. Ray to his left on to Daubach, and that'll do it. Tampa Bay gets a run back here in the 6th inning. Pedro's throw 110 pitches. We've played 6. Boston on top 5-3.
Double coverage with the McCourty twins is on NESN.
Tell Mama we made it. Tell your mom that today, man. That's key. We cover all things. Football, I think I'm getting into some early trash talk.
You talk trash, that's all you do.
Culture, we always talk about, it's always about inspiring people after you.
Athletes are doing so much more in our society.
And everything in between.
I am so fired up to talk to you guys today.
See who's in the house on the next Double Coverage.
Double coverage with the McCourty twins.
Every Wednesday on NESN.
It's time to meet the demand. Let's get to work. Skilled technicians are essential and keep us moving forward. The transportation industry needs qualified techs right now. Take the first step today at uti.edu.
For skin that never holds you back, don't settle for silver. Number 1 for diabetic dry skin. Number 1 for psoriasis symptom relief. And number 1 for eczema symptom relief. Gold Bond. Champion your skin.
Back in Tampa Bay at the end of 6, 5-3. Red Sox on top. Let's check in with Tom Caron. Tom?
Don, thanks very much. We're here with Lieutenant Jason Carville. He is stationed down at MacDill Air Force Base, but he's originally from Lisbon, Maine. You were part of the color guard in that stirring pregame ceremony. Talk a little about what it was like to be on the field tonight.
It was really impressive being out there, walking out, and having all the fans give you that standing ovation. Something that's really impressive. And then the International Coalition and all of our joint color guard from CENTCOM, SOCOM, and JCSE. It was real coming together for all our troops.
Having General Franks out there talking about what baseball means had to be special as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I saw him this morning. I was out there in the rain on Bayshore Boulevard with the Bayshore Patriots and got soaked out there with him.
And I want to say hi to some people back home, so go ahead real quickly.
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to Tim, Carrie, Nick, and Phil, my parents, Jim and Paulette in Lisbon, Maine. Down here in Florida, loving it, but sometimes I wish I had that Maine weather back.
Larry, thanks. One of the many heroes part of the pregame ceremonies. Back to you guys.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. Manny Ramirez to begin things here in the top of the 7th inning. Manny has provided the Red Sox with some offense tonight. A grand slam. He's 1 for 3. His 29th home run of the year. And has added 4 RBIs onto his total, now 94 RBIs on the season. Facing Wilson Alvarez. And Ramirez down on the count 0-2. Ramirez, Floyd, and Daubach expected to bat here in the 7th inning. Tampa Bay gets a run back in the last of the 6th to shorten the lead to 2 runs for the Red Sox tonight. And he strikes out on 3 pitches and has words for Phil Cuzzy as he heads off. Second strikeout for Wilson Alvarez.
That's something you very seldom see. Manny question an umpire's call. Usually he just accepts it and walks back. That time he didn't like the last call at all. 0-2 pitch by Alvarez seemed to be down and away. It looked like that was a gift to Wilson Alvarez.
One down, 3 in a row retired by Alvarez. There's Cliff Floyd, who's 2 for 3 and fouls the first one off. Floyd with a single in the 2nd. He doubled in the 5th. The 0-1. This is down, and it's 1-1 to Floyd. He'll be followed by Brian Daubach as the Red Sox bat here in the top of the 7th inning. Red Sox getting all their runs tonight in 1 inning. Scored 5 times in the 5th. Paul Wilson, the starter tonight for Tampa Bay, went 4 1/3, giving up 7 hits, 5 runs, walked 4 and struck out 3. Alvarez has not yet given up a run in his 2 innings of relief as Floyd takes the strike. 2-2. Alvarez, the left-hander, listed at 6'1", 245 pounds. Now the 2-2 to Floyd. That is popped up. Foul off first. Flaherty giving chase and can't make the catch. Ran into the railing and ended up going about road deep outside of his reach. Flaherty has made a few catches tonight in foul ground. Twice against Shea Hillenbrand, in fact. But not this time. 2-2 to Floyd.
Flaherty violated the rules. Did you see that sign in the dugout? It says do not lean on the rails. And he was leaning all over that rail trying to make that catch.
It's a pretty big sign, too. Two and two to Floyd as Alvarez brings the 2-2. Look out. Well, that one got away from him and Floyd goes down. The way this series has been going, I'm surprised Alvarez is not ejected here.
Well, obviously not deemed intentional on a 2-2 count. And no move made by the umpires, and there shouldn't be. I don't believe that was intentional. It was awfully close and dangerous. Flaherty set up down and in, the ball up and in instead.
So full count as a result with 1 out. Floyd works the walk. He just kind of flung the bat, makes his way down to first with 1 down. First walk given up by Wilson Alvarez since he's been on. Aubrey Huff will hold on Cliff Floyd. Brian Daubach has been on base 3 times tonight. He doubled in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, and singled in the 5th. He drove in a run with his base hit in the 5th inning.
like that's it for Pedro with the one out in the inning. Bobby Howry continues to throw out in the bullpen, so he'll come on for the bottom of the 7th.
Pedro threw 110 pitches tonight.
Ever since that fastball up and in, he's tried to keep everything away from left-handers, and right now can't find the strike zone.
The switch hitting Jason Varitek waits on deck. The 2-0 to Daubach. Check swing grounder outside at third and foul. And Daubach fractured his bat, so we'll go and get a new one. The Red Sox trying to take the first 3 games of this 4-game series. Still 1 game left here. Tomorrow afternoon, the day game that begins at 2:15. The action on Fox 25 tomorrow. Tim Wakefield gets the start for the Red Sox, 9-5 against Victor Zambrano. We have seen out of the Tampa Bay bullpen in the past, a right-hander 6-7 going tomorrow against Wakefield. Tim Wakefield trying to jump into double figures in terms of wins as he will bring a 9-5 record with him tomorrow. And then the Red Sox will host the Baltimore Orioles over the weekend. Daubach fouls it off, 2-2.
Watching the Orioles-Yankees score. The Yankees were up 4-0 in that game, but the Orioles have come back to tie it up at 4-4. That game being played in New York. It's in the 6th inning.
Duque was pitching there tonight for New York to begin the game. Alvarez with the 2-2 will have to wait. First he'll check on Cliff Floyd at first. The 2-2. Daubach takes it in the dirt. Floyd's going to try for second. He may be out. The throw is not in time. He got in. Throw appeared to be there. Floyd breaking right away, and he's able to get to second base.
Tell you what, fundamentally on the bases, Cliff Floyd is very good. Now we've seen this a couple of times tonight where he takes that good secondary lead. If you don't do that, you can't get the jump on a ball like this. As soon as that ball hit the dirt, he was off towards second base and just makes it in a scoring position. Throw a little bit high from Flaherty to foot in before the tag. But the key to that is once that pitch is made, that good big secondary lead, and he gets a good read on those balls in the dirt.
He was able to get to third base in the same type situation in the 5th inning. As Daubach swings at the 3-2 and grounds it softly to Sheets on the right side, underhanded to retire Daubach, but on to third goes Cliff Floyd with now 2 outs in the inning. Now Jason Varitek. That's from the right side against the left-hander. Jason's 0 for 3 tonight. He was the first batter that Wilson Alvarez faced when he came on in the 5th inning, and Alvarez was able to get Varitek to fly to left. Strike 1 to Varitek. Bob Howry continuing to warm in the Boston bullpen. He'll be on, it appears, for the last of the 7th inning. Warming since last inning and really just kind of looking on now from the Boston pen. Varitek lifts it in the air to right field, and Greaves camped underneath. He makes the catch to retire the side. So the Red Sox leave the runner at third in Cliff Floyd. And the 7th inning stretch time here. Red Sox on top 5-3.
To defend against dark forces attacking your organization, you need to see in the dark. To have the wisdom to understand multiple cyber threats. The precision focus to end attacks instantly. On computers, mobile devices, servers, and the cloud. Join the world's leading companies in our mission to defend. Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now. It won't cost you anything to find out if we can help you. We are the Mortgage Defense Line, and we can help you save your home. Don't wait. Call right now.
Please call 800-970-1920. That's 800-970-1920.
Broken refrigerator, $2,500. Busted air conditioning, $4,000. Get an American Residential Home Warranty Plan, and when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown wipe out your savings? Or deal with the headache of finding quality service people?
Their service is great. You can call them 24 hours a day.
ARW is so professional. They handled my claim right away.
Get a home security system free with any plan. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
Back in Tampa Bay through 7. Red Sox on top 5-3. The hits are even at 8. Neither club has made an error so far as we get ready for the 8th inning. And Wilson Alvarez, who has been out there, has done a pretty good job in relief. He's not giving up a run over his 2 2/3 innings of relief for the Tampa Bay starter tonight, Paul Wilson. And he'll deal with Trot Nixon, Ray Sanchez, and Johnny Damon in the 8th.
A pretty impressive showing by Embry. Grady Little going right to the left-hander in the 7th inning. Picked up the strikeout against the lefty Crawford, then win with the fly ball out to right field.
General Tommy Franks, who was here tonight and part of the pregame ceremony. What was a very nice ceremony here tonight, and really a pleasure to see him. We had seen him earlier this season in New York at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, and a little time to relax. He's been pretty busy over the last year.
Yes, he has.
Across the MacDill Air Force Base, very close here to the Tampa area.
I was going to ask you that, is it?
And that's mission control for all of what's going on overseas.
It's right here in Tampa. We are actually in St. Pete. As Trot Nixon leads it off, he's 0 for 3 from the number 8 spot in the Boston order. Alvarez coming over the top with strike 1 to Nixon. Red Sox trying to grab some insurance on top by 2 runs, 5-3. As they bat in the 8th, and Nixon with his first hit of the night bangs it back up the middle into center field.
And you can see how excited Chase is in his first birthday. His dad getting a hit for him.
He's awake to see it this time. He had been asleep for most of the game tonight, but Nixon with his first hit of the night. Here's Ray Sanchez, 1 for 2 with a walk in the game tonight. He singled in the 5th and scored the first Boston run. Foul tips it into John Flaherty's mid. Baltimore and New York still tied at 4. They're in the last of the 7th inning now at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees had a 4-0 advantage at one point in that game. The Orioles have come back and tied it up 4-4. Sanchez pops it up into left center field. Randy Wynn got kind of a late break, but he can run, makes the catch, and Nixon's got to scamper his way back to the bag at first. 1 down.
Randy Wynn can cover a lot of ground out there in center field. You're right. Got a very late break on that fly ball, but then was able to cover the ground with his terrific speed. A guy that doesn't really have that strong a throwing arm. He does have 12 assists, which means, you know, people will test him, and I'm sure a lot of those assists probably have come at third base.
Here's Johnny Damon, who hit a triple his last time up. This one gets away from Flaherty. Nixon's going to try it. They've been taking liberties all day, and Nixon will get there. Twice by Cliff Floyd tonight, and this time Trot Nixon on the secondary lead takes off, and he gets to second base and into scoring position with 1 down.
Well, I keep repeating it, but that really is an art for a base runner. You know, you get that good secondary lead. When you read the ball in the dirt, you just take off and go to second base, because the catch is very seldom going to catch that. He's probably going to try to block it, and if you get the proper lead and the proper jump, you can make it just about every time. Only problem there is Trott almost came off that second base bag.
Now Damon with a chance to drive him in.
You know what team does that better than anybody? The Minnesota Twins.
Really?
They work on that in spring training.
I wonder how many times it has led to runs as Damon sends it foul off the left side. Sandberg gives chase, but it's back into the seats.
I'm sure quite often. I mean, obviously you're getting yourself in a scoring position where if you're a lazy base runner, you're just going to be standing at first base. It's not just the lead, it's your secondary lead and being able to read the breaking ball that's going to bounce in the dirt. Just take off and go.
I've seen it a lot tonight for the Red Sox. Nixon at second base with one away. Damon grounds it left side to short, heading to third base, and Nixon will be out there. Chris Gomez with the play in front of him elects to go to third, and Sandberg applies the tag. 2 down in the inning.
That is not an art. That's just poor base running that time by Nixon. Ground ball to the left side. He's already in scoring position at second base. There's no way you can get thrown out at third here. Mistake made, and I'm sure he's very much aware of that. So he makes a good play to get the scoring position. A poor base running play to be thrown out at third base.
And the Devil Rays will make a pitching change as Wilson Alvarez did a pretty good job in relief of Paul Wilson. And the Devil Rays making a change here with 2 down in the 8th. We're in the midst of the top of the 8th inning. Red Sox on top 5-3. Back in Tampa Bay, 5-3. Red 8th inning. The Devil Rays will use their third pitcher of the night, Travis Harper, into the game.
Travis Harper has made 6 starts this year, a 34th appearance overall, a record of 5-8 with an ERA slightly over 5. Opponents have hit .278 off Travis Harper.
Two outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Johnny Damon at first, being held on by Aubrey Huff. As Shea Hillenbrand bats tonight for the 5th time. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Quick check on Damon, who's back in plenty of time.
28 steals for Damon. The league leader Soriano with 40. Johnny certainly a threat to go here with 2 outs.
There goes Damon. The pitch will miss. The throw down is not in time. Johnny Damon steals second and jumps up into scoring position with 2 down.
Now that nullifies the base running mistake by Nixon. Nixon thrown out at third base, so Damon on the first pitch will get himself into scoring position. So that takes a little bit of the pressure off Trott as they just kind of really exchange places.
29 thefts for Johnny Damon in 34 attempts. And it's now 2-0 to Shea Hillenbrand. Travis Harper last year began the year in the rotation for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in his 3rd pro season. Made 2 starts to begin the year last year and lost both starts to the Boston Red Sox. And was sent back to Durham on April the 18th. Did come back a few times last year. It's been up and down quite a bit over the last few years. Hillenbrand fouls it off. 2-1. Travis Harper was originally drafted by the Red Sox in the 3rd round of the '97 draft, but had his contract voided due to a prior injury that took place on his right elbow. And the Reds never ended up pitching for the Red Sox in the system. The Devil Rays signed him as a free agent. The 2-1. 3-1 now to Hillenbrand. Damon at second base with 2 down in the inning. The 3-1. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt. Out again. Full count now to Hillenbrand. Waiting on deck, Nomar Garciaparra. He'll be looking for his first hit of the night. He has walked to get on base. Red Sox out hitting the Devil Rays 9-8 as they bat here in the top of the 8th inning. Hillenbrand goes lunging and strikes out. So Travis Harper comes on and strikes out Shea Hillenbrand to end things in the top of the 8th. On to the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 Red Sox.
Meet the new DQ Loaded A1 Steakhouse Burger, stacked with thick-cut bacon, crunchy onion rings, and 2 premium steak sauces. A1 thick and hearty steak sauce and a creamy peppercorn sauce. This is one burger that needs 2 hands. DQ, happy tastes good.
I needed a new truck, but I didn't have time to shop around for a good loan. So I got one with a higher interest rate from the dealer. Then I refinanced with DCU. Now I have more cash in my pocket for more of what matters. What will DCU mean to you?
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now.
Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, where tonight on the mound Pedro Martinez would give up a 2-run home run to John Flaherty back in the 2nd inning, which put the Devil Rays on top 2-0 early in this one. For Flaherty, his 4th home run of the year, and the Devil Rays had a 2-0 lead. But the Red Sox answer with 5 runs in the 5th. Bases loaded for Manny Ramirez. He's able to hit his 15th grand slam of his career and his 29th home run of the season. RBIs 91, 92, 93, and 94. And the Red Sox would add a run in that inning as well, on top 5-3 now. Brian Daubach with an RBI single as part of that inning as well. Pedro Martinez threw 110 pitches tonight, 6 innings, giving up 3 runs on 7 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 8. Paul Wilson, chased from the game after 4 1/3, has been charged with all 5 Boston runs. Now, Alan Embry, who came on last inning, is back out there for the last of the 8th. Bobby Howry worked a 1/3 of an inning, giving up a hit and no runs. He didn't walk anybody, nor did he strike anybody out. And Embry worked the final 2/3 of the 7th inning. Aubrey Huff takes strike 1.
And as this inning starts, Don, Ugi Urbina loosening in the Red Sox bullpen.
Quickly to the Devil Rays first baseman Aubrey Huff. Urbina may have a chance for a save tonight. Right now a 2-run lead for the Red Sox. He'll be looking for his 33rd save of the season, with 32 so far this year. Red Sox have 42 saves as a club. Went up top to get Aubrey Huff, but he makes very quick work of him. 2nd strikeout for Alan Embry.
Well, right now they have absolutely no chance against Embry. I mean, when that fastball is 98 to 99 miles an hour, you have a very little chance. And Huff goes down on that high fastball. You're talking Nolan Ryan stuff here. You know, 98, 99. Nolan over 100 quite often before he had his elbow operation.
There's Steve Cox, who goes the opposite way in a line. Ramirez is there, and there's 2 down. And the best pitcher you played in behind as a second baseman?
Well, I would say the most intimidating pitcher, obviously. He would change lineups. You know, when he was in his heyday, with his fastball and his curveball, you would always see a couple of scratches in that opposing lineup. And there are a few guys, I won't mention their name, but you can count on them never being in the lineup when he pitched.
Come up with a mysterious ailment at the last moment.
Bad back, you know.
Ryanitis.
Bronchitis.
John Flaherty has been on base 3 times tonight, as he fouls the first one off down by the shoe tops. He homered in the 2nd inning off Pedro, then walked in the 4th and singled in the 6th inning. That was all against Pedro Martinez. Fouls it off the right side, back and out of play, and it's now 0-2. the veteran catcher, who has now been in the major league since breaking in 1992 with the Red Sox. Originally a 25th round pick of the Red Sox back in 1988. He's been in the big leagues with Boston, Detroit, San Diego, and now in his 5th season here in Tampa Bay. He's been here since the beginning of the franchise. Little tapper back towards the mound. Embry plays it well and throws out Flaherty to retire the side. It's a quick and easy 1-2-3 inning for Alan Embry. We played 8 from St. Petersburg. 5-3 Boston.
It's the season to save big at the Hyundai Thanksgiving sales event. Get great deals on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus, get the peace of mind that comes with America's best warranty and complimentary maintenance. Can't wait to satisfy your cravings? Then hurry in to the Hyundai Thanksgiving sales event now and feast on the savings.
Now for a limited time, lease a 2020 Hyundai Tucson for $149 a month. Offers end soon.
Top of the 9th, the Red Sox have the 5-3 lead. Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Alan Embry, very impressive in the relief here tonight for the Red Sox, hitting in 2/3 and pretty much lights out against Alan Embry. The Devil Rays, this has really lined up quite nicely for Grady Little, going with Pedro for the first 6 innings, Bobby Howry for a 3rd, and Alan Embry for the last inning in 2/3, kind of setting the stage perhaps for Oogie in the 9th. The Sox hopeful that they can add to their 2-run advantage on top 5-3. Omar Garcia-Parra, Manny Ramirez, and Cliff Floyd to bat in the inning against Travis Harper as Urbina warms in the bullpen. Omar has been held hitless tonight, 0 for 3 with a walk in the game. Omar walked in the 5th inning as part of the 5-run 5th inning for the Red Sox. All the runs coming in 1 inning. Looper down the right field line. Fall for a base hit. He was running on a line, took a strange route to that ball, and it lands for a hit for Nomar.
Apparently he didn't get a good read on that ball off the bat by Garcia-Parra, because that ball was certainly up there long enough for a right fielder to make a play on it. Ball slicing off the bat from Garcia-Parra to the opposite field, but Grieve almost looked like he took a couple of steps back and then slowed up before playing the ball on 1 bounce.
So the Red Sox with the lead man on here in the top of the 9th inning. Manny Ramirez. It's kind of an all or nothing tonight. In a grand slam in the 5th. Otherwise, he has struck out 3 times. And he takes strike 1 from Travis Harper. Manny has not been overly pleased with the home plate umpire, Phil Cuzzi, tonight.
A couple of pitches on the outside corner or off the outside corner have not made Manny happy on a couple of occasions.
He's gone looking twice tonight, once in the 1st and once in the 7th inning. And he lines it into left field for a base hit. Second hit of the night for Manny Ramirez. Up 90 feet to second goes Nomar Garcia-Parra. First 2 men have reached here in the 9th.
Trying to get the breaking ball by Manny, but it stays out over the plate, and Ramirez the line drive into left field.
Red Sox have 4 hitters with 2 hits tonight. Johnny Damon, Cliff Floyd, Brian Daubach, and now Manny Ramirez. Floyd has been on base 3 times tonight, 2 hits and a walk. He's also grounded out. Nobody warming in the Tampa Bay bullpen as Travis Harper works the 9th inning. He got the final out of the 8th as he struck out Shea Hillenbrand to end the 8th. Floyd now ahead 2-0. In the 14 games that the Red Sox and Devil Rays have played this year, in those games 11 of them has been at least one hit batsman. But so far tonight nobody's been hit on either side. This is sent through the left side of the infield. Nomar will be sent around by Covage. Crawford's up and throwing from left. The throw is offline, and Garcia Parra's in with another insurance run. Red Sox lead it 6-3.
Cliff Floyd is hot. 4 hits in the game last night, 3 hits tonight. A 3-for-4 night. Picks up another RBI, his 11th as a member of the Red Sox. And gives the Red Sox a little bit more padding here in the top of the ninth. They're not done yet. Still nobody out. Garcia-Parra waved home that throw, not even close to home plate. It was out toward the pitcher's mound.
So 2 singles, a double, and another fine effort tonight for Cliff Floyd. 2 on, nobody out, and Daubach sends it in the air to left. Crawford moves over, and there's the first out of the 9th inning. Well, Jason Varitek looking for his first hit of the night. Varitek and Hillenbrand have been held hitless in tonight's effort. Varitek is 0 for 4 on 4 flyouts in the game. And the Tampa Bay Devil Rays will get action in their pen. Looks like Esteban Yan getting to warm in the pen. Varitek sends it down the line. Huff to second for 1. The relay with the pitcher covering is not in time. Get the runner at second. Forced out is Cliff Floyd for the inning's second out.
Aubrey Huff having a difficult time getting the ball out of his glove to make that 3-6-1 double play. Feels the ground ball, but then didn't get the good grip on the baseball the first time in, and that cost him some time and maybe cost him the double play.
Runners at the corners with 2 outs in the inning, and here's Trot Nixon, who singled his last time up. Trot is 1 for 4 tonight. And the strike to Nixon. Still 4-4 in New York tonight. They're in the top of the 8th, the Orioles and the Yankees. Texas is beating Seattle 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Oakland and Anaheim will be getting started shortly out in Anaheim. And upstairs, and Nixon goes after it in the hole now. 0-2. Travis Harper surveys the situation. He finds Ramirez at third, Varitek at first, and 2 down. And it's 1-2 now to Nixon, with Ray Sanchez waiting on deck. Up at 2-2 now to Nixon. Dustin Hermanson has joined Ugi Urbina in the bullpen.
Probably just to get some throwing in. He has not been that active recently, with the exception of getting a haircut.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's a different look. And 2-2. Got him. Nixon strikes out. The Red Sox leave a pair, but they do drive in a run in the inning. Red Sox on top by 3 as we head to the last of the ninth. 6-3 Boston.
NESN remains committed to making a difference in the communities where we live, work, and play. Through this challenging year and throughout every year, we'll continue to find safe ways to serve our community and provide volunteers, donations, and support for our partners. This fall, the NESN team rallied to give hundreds of hours of service to organizations across New England. Even in times of distancing, NESN connects. To find out more, visit NESN.com/connects.
amazing full-size products for one incredible price. The FabFitFun Winter Box is here. Sign up for yours today at fabfitfun.com. Use code WOW for $10 off your first box.
With Nurex, I can order my birth control from anywhere.
Anywhere. Anywhere. I can message my doctor at any time with questions.
There's no waiting in line at pharmacies.
Or months to get a doctor's appointment. And Nurex bills my insurance.
As a freelancer without insurance, I love that my pills start at $15 a month with free shipping.
Goodbye, hassle.
Hello, freedom.
Get birth control from anywhere. Go to Nurex.com to get started.
Deserve.
Raymond entertaining the crowd here in between innings as we get ready for the last of the ninth. Red Sox on top 6-3. And they turn things over to the closer, Oogie Urbina.
Urbina with 32 saves on the season. He currently ranks fifth in the league behind Guardado, Koch, Percival, and Sasaki of Seattle. 3 runs lead, and Abelson to come in and try to pick up the save as Raleigh Raymond is trying to get things going for the Devil Rays here in the ninth. Is
that what the second R stands for?
Yes, Raleigh Raymond. He's completely lost his mind.
He's moving around some of that excess stuff that he has added here during the season. The Cape, I wonder what that was about. R. Raleigh Raymond, huh?
Wow. Like he's even being nice to Red Sox fans, so that's okay. Looks like a Timmy Bavacqua shirt that guy's got on.
It does. It really does. Yeah. Alan Embry came on for an inning and 2/3 and retired everybody that he faced. And now Urbina to deal with Ben Grieve, Jared Sandberg, and Chris Gomez, the scheduled hitters, bottom third of the Tampa Bay order. And the strike to Grieve. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice and fly to center. Very deep in right is Nixon. As the outfield basically straight away, but Nixon the deepest of the outfielders. Grounded down the line. Daubach's got it. He'll need help. Urbina's there, and they just do get Grieve. 3-1 on the putout. 1 down in the ninth.
Oogie was a little bit late leaving that pitcher's position, so it became a very close play at first base. Right down the line, Daubach makes a nice play, but then it really kind of had to wait a little while for Oogie. Runs the ball back in, the underhand flip, and just barely beating Grieve at first base. Bang, bang play. Another look. Looked like a dead tie, didn't it?
It certainly did. And nobody really argued from the Tampa Bay side.
I usually say the tie goes to the runner, but not the case there.
Jared Sandberg's 0 for 3 tonight. He is flied out, struck out, and grounded out. Red Sox pitching is combined to retire 6 Devil Rays in a row. And Urbina jumps ahead here very quickly. 0-2. A little flare there at the end of the delivery. Esteban Yan had been up in the Tampa Bay bullpen, but he has sat down. And Raleigh Raymond is starting to calm down now with 1 out in the inning.
No, I want to be mean, but with 42 wins in the season,
yeah,
I don't think Raymond's had many rallies. Signing autographs. Look at this. It's unbelievable. He must love his hair.
The 1-2 to Sandberg. He'll miss inside. 2-2. Pedro Martinez started tonight, went the first 6 innings, giving up the 3 runs that the Devil Rays have. Bob Howry, Alan Embry, And now Oogie Urbina. Strike 3 call. Sandberg down by way of the K. 2 down in the 9th. The Devil Rays down to their last out.
Looked like Sandberg didn't want to argue, but he didn't want to leave home plate either. I think he felt this pitch was low, and he may have had an argument. But the Red Sox will certainly take it.
Red Sox trying to make it 9 in a row here in Tampa Bay. They're 8-0 this season so far. Here's Chris Gomez. Last hope for the Devil Rays. 2 for 3 in the game tonight. Red Sox out hitting Tampa Bay 12-8. Urbina trying to notch his 33rd save of the season. One and one now to Gomez. Team number 144 of the year for the Red Sox. In search of their 82nd win, it would tie the number of wins that the Red Sox had all of last season. As it misses, 2-1 the count. Oakland and Anaheim are underway. They're in the top of the first inning without a score in Anaheim. Corey Lytle against John Lackey in action in Anaheim. Popped up, foul off first base. Daubach going full bore. Back by the Tampa bullpen, and it's knocked down by a fan and out of play for a foul ball.
Daubach might have whacked his knee into that wall too, trying to make the catch. No fan interference. The ball was excuse me, in the stand, so no fan interference call. Here goes Daubach trying to make the play. Let's see. Bangs that left knee right into the sign. I don't know if that's one of our sponsors, so we'll just let it ride.
Yeah. 2-2. Devil Rays down to their last strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the last of the 9th inning. Red Sox on top 6-3. In the dirt, it's a full count now to Gomez. The top of the Tampa Bay order waits on deck and Andy Sheets. Gets the sign from Jason Varitek, ready to work with the payoff pitch. Popped up. Ryan Daubach has it in his sights as he drifts into foul ground, and that'll do it. The Red Sox 9-0 against Tampa Bay here at Tropicana Field, and they've taken the first 3 games of this 4-game series. A 1-2-3 9th inning for Urbina. Red Sox pitching retires the last 8 Tampa Bay Devil Rays in a row, and Manny Ramirez with the 15th grand slam of his career. The big blow tonight for the Red Sox from an offensive standpoint, as they scored 5 times in the 5th. They'd add a run in the top of the 9th and go on to beat Tampa Bay Devil Rays tonight 6-3. So the Red Sox with their 82nd victory of the season. Again, the win total from last year, the Red Sox getting it in game number 144 of this season. Red Sox out hit Tampa Bay 12-8 as part of the victory here tonight, and Pedro Martinez picks up his 18th win, now 18-4. The loss to Paul Wilson 6-10, and Oogie Urbina with his 33rd save of the season.
Ladies and